Good evening. It is time for the Iman Report. It is Saturday, January 2nd. It is the last week. It's the final countdown to the last week of the NFL season. It's time! Yes, we are going to find out who's going to be in the playoffs after tomorrow, who's going to be fired after tomorrow. It is the most exciting time of the year, the last week of the NFL season. All games are on Sunday. We should have the division titles by tomorrow night. Exciting football for all to be seen tomorrow. Let's start off with one of the more irrelevant games of the week, the Minnesota Vikings against the Detroit Lions. Minnesota, the 4-point favorites over the Lions. Unfortunately for Minnesota, the bad news is going to be that, and now I'm getting a brain fart. Now I'm getting a little bit of a brain fart, so forgive. Dalvin Cook is going to be out due to losing his father due to his father's death. But they do have a good, capable backup running back in yes, Cook is not going to be starting, but they do have at running back Alexander Mattison. Madison is, and the good part for Minnesota is Detroit's defense is very, very bad. So they will not miss a beat without, they will likely not miss a beat without Dalvin Cook. It'll be Alexander Mattison. Adam Thielen should have a good game. Kirk Cousins should have a good game. Unfortunately, the Lions just don't know how to tackle. As for Detroit, why are you even bothering starting Matthew Stafford? This could be Matthew Stafford's last start in Detroit as a Lion, as Detroit is looking at the possibility of having to tear this team down to the bolts after tomorrow. This game is irrelevant, but Minnesota, the 4-point favorites. Minnesota's going to win this game, finish 7-9. Minnesota wins, Minnesota covers, and Detroit falls to 4-12. And another high draft pick, as maybe we see Robert Saleh out there in Detroit after tomorrow night. The second game, this one is a big game coming up in the NFC East between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. The winner of this game will definitely be having their eyes tuned on Sunday Night Football this week, hoping for a Washington loss. The loser of this game is finished. Dallas, the 1.5-point favorites over the New York Giants. Dallas's offense has been better as of late. Dallas's defense has been better as of late. New York trending the wrong direction right now. Daniel Jones has not looked great since returning from injury, but the defense has held its own. New York still looking like a team that is a year or two away from contending. Joe Judge has these players trying hard every week. Meanwhile, a respectable 7-9 for Dallas will be good for Mike McCarthy, who is going to be safe for another year as they get Dak Prescott back in 2021. And Ezekiel Elliott's played great in the last few games. This game is a toss-up. New York loves to play hard against Dallas. New York at least would love to play nothing more than to at least play spoiler against Dallas. The winner of this game, as I said, will be watching Sunday Night Football and would win the crown if the football team loses on Sunday Night Football. Who wins? Dallas. As much as I hate Dallas, they're going to win this game. And Dallas will be looking at the scoreboard at this point. New York just does not have the firepower to win this game. So I am going to go with Dallas in this game. In Cleveland, the Brownies taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers JV squad. Pittsburgh resting their starters this week. The Brownies getting their wide receivers back. So that is good news there. But it would be Mason Rudolph going against Myles Garrett, the rematch. Myles Garrett, the helmet's not for hitting. Remember. But all be said, this should be a very fun game. If Cleveland wins, they are in. If Pittsburgh wins, Pittsburgh win and a Buffalo loss, Pittsburgh would be your 2. Cleveland wins, they'll at least be a 7. Who wins? Get ready. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. That's right. The Cleveland Browns are making the playoffs this year. Get ready, Cleveland. Baker Mayfield will lead Cleveland to their first playoff appearance against the JV squad Steelers for possibly a trilogy match in Pittsburgh the following weekend. Next game on the docket, the Buffalo Bills against the Miami Dolphins. Buffalo, the 1.5 point favorites. Question's going to be will the Bills be starting? Will they be playing their starters or will they be resting? To rest or not to rest? That is the question. If Buffalo wins, Buffalo is your 2. And the good news for Buffalo fans, they're allowing 6,700 fans for the wild card game in Buffalo. Miami, the bad news is Ryan Fitzpatrick is on the COVID list and will not play week 17. So it's going to have, if Miami's going to win this week, it's going to fall on Tua. Buffalo's defense has been much better as of late. Miami's defense is stout. The way I'm picking the winner this week is based on the assumption that Buffalo is playing their starters. So I think it's going to be Buffalo, and Buffalo locks up that 2 seed in the East and blocks up that 2 seed in the AFC. Next game on the docket, a very irrelevant game at Foxborough between the New York Jets and the New England Patriots. Jets, they've won 2 games in a row. Will they make it 3 in a row? As for Adam Gase, he's gone. Adam Gase is expected to be fired after this game. So, yes, the Jets will have a new head coach going into 2021. As for the Patriots offense, it has been terrible. Newton has not been good. Stidham is showing after this game, it's going to be time for the Patriots to overhaul its quarterback roster. The Patriots have to overhaul their offense, period. The Patriots still have a good defense. Belichick is still coaching the team. And I don't see this team lying down and playing dead against the Jets. Even though it's a irrelevant game, the Patriots would rather finish 7-9 over 6-10. And the Patriots will do that. They will win just enough to finish 7-9. And the Jets will lock down the number 2 pick of the NFL draft. Next game on the docket, the Atlanta Falcons against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay wins. They are the 5 seed, and they will likely play the NFC least winner. Atlanta would love nothing more than to play spoiler and force the Buccaneers to be watching the scoreboard in the afternoon games. Tampa fell way behind to Atlanta in the first game before the Atlanta defense played like the Atlanta defense. Then last week, Tampa looked like a team on a mission. Tom Brady looked like the old Tom Brady in the last game. Even Blaine Gabbert looked great last week. And I expect this momentum to carry into this week. I think Tampa's going to be motivated. Tampa's going to want to lock down that 5 seed and get an easy matchup against the NFC least winner. Tampa is going to win. Tampa is the 6.5 point favorites. Tampa wins. Tampa covers. Tampa is your 5 seed. The Baltimore Ravens going to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Ravens, the 14 point favorites in this game. Cincinnati has not looked too terribly bad. Since 4 wins will probably be enough to bring back Zach Taylor in 2021. Now, if you can get Cincinnati some defense next year, I think Cincinnati could be a better team. But this is still the 2020 season, technically. And Baltimore, they win. Baltimore will be your 5 seed. And I think Baltimore wins and a Miami loss. Baltimore will be your 5 seed. Baltimore takes care of business, wins, covers. Baltimore is going to get in the playoffs. And I think they will be the 5 seed. Now on to the afternoon/evening games. The Titans against the Texans. Titans, the 7.5 point favorites. Titans win this game. They are your AFC South winners. Texans have just been downright awful on defense. And this will be a good game for Derrick Henry, a good bounce back game for Ryan Tannehill. Tennessee gets it done, gets the win, covers the 7.5 point spread. They cover, win. The Titans, your NFC South winners. The Green Bay Packers against the Chicago Bears. The Packers, the 4 point favorites at Soldier Field. The bad news for Chicago is Green Bay is going to be playing their starters. Green Bay wins. They are the 1 seed. The road through the NFC goes through Lambeau Field. Chicago wins. Then they have to see what happens between a Bears win and a Cardinals win. The Bears are in. A Bears win and a Cardinals loss. The Bears are in. A Bears loss and a Cardinals loss. The Bears are in. The Bears loss and a Rams loss. The Bears are out. Those are your scenarios. I think for Chicago, unfortunately, with the Packers starters playing this game, it's going to be the Packers. Green Bay's played much better on defense the past few games. Green Bay looks like a team on a mission this year. Granted, Chicago's looked much better since Matt Nagy learned to run the ball. David Montgomery has been a good running back now. Trubisky looks like a good quarterback, looking like a much better quarterback as of late. I think he gets a 1-year contract. Trubisky is clearly the better quarterback than Nick Foles at this point. Yes, Chicago's going to lose, but I think Matt Nagy's going to be safe going into 2021. But Packers get it done. Packers lock down that 1 seed. Next game, the Seattle Seahawks against the San Francisco 49ers. The Seahawks, the 6.5-point favorites. San Francisco pretty much playing the bench squad in this game. Almost half of the defense out due to injuries. You've got Beathard starting. Ayuk and Debo not playing. This could be a slaughter fest for Seattle. Seattle's defense has been great as of late. And Russell Wilson's has been getting by just being a game manager. I expect a big game out of DK Metcalf. This is going to be a Seattle win. Seattle's going to cover. Seattle could be the 2 going into the. Seattle wins, and if both the Saints and the Packers lose, Seattle's your 1. A Seattle win and a Saints loss, Seattle's the 2. But Seattle's going to take care of business. But no, Seattle cannot finish any worse than the 3. The Los Angeles Chargers against the Kansas City Chiefs JV squad. Kansas City resting the majority of their starters. Chargers should have no problem with this game. Chargers, the 4.5-point favorites. Does 7-9 get Anthony Lynn a stay of execution? Maybe. I actually do think 7-9 will actually end up getting Anthony Lynn another year, just because the Spanos family operates that way. This could end up being another Norv Turner situation where they hold on to their coach for too long. I think the Chargers are going to win this game. Chargers cover, and Anthony Lynn ends up safe. On to Denver, another irrelevant game. The Las Vegas Raiders against the Denver Broncos. The Raiders, the 3-point favorites over the Broncos. The Raiders have been reeling as of late. And the defense just can't stop anybody. The bad news for the Raiders, they got to go to Denver. Raiders' history in Denver has not been good. I think this could be a game where Drew Lock has a good game. You could see Phillip Lindsay and Malcolm Gordon have good games. And Melvin Gordon and Phillip Lindsay have good games. This could be a good game for Drew Lock. As for Carr, the Raiders, I think will probably sleepwalk back into another 7-9 season. Potentially with Gruden on the hot seat in 2021. Denver wins. I'm taking Denver in an upset in this one. I got that feeling the Raiders are going to lose at Denver. Vegas, I think, is pretty much thrown in the towel on this year, but 2021 could be make or break for Derek Carr. Denver gets the win. In one of the bigger games of the week, the Arizona Cardinals head to LA to take on the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams without Jared Goff this week. Jared Goof. His name should be Goof. But yeah, Goof is out this week, so it's Wolford starting with John Wolford, your starter, with Blake Bortles as your backup this week for the LA Rams. And the Cardinals will have Kyler Murray starting, so that is good news for Arizona. The Rams' defense is good. I don't think it's going to be enough, though, to stop the Cardinals. This could be a good opportunity for the Cardinals to get in the playoffs. Rams, here's the situation for the Rams. Rams win, they are in. Cardinals win, they are in. Cardinals lose, they are out. Cardinals, it's win or go home for the Cardinals. Rams lose, combined with the Bears loss. Rams go in as the 7. Cardinals go in as the 6. Who wins? Cardinals. Rams just, I don't think, the only way the Rams can win this game is if they can keep it like 10-7 or 13-10. But I have a feeling the Cardinals get it done. Cardinals end up your 6. And you end up with the Rams as your 7. Next on the docket, the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts, the 14.5-point favorites over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Your starter this week for the Jaguars is Mike Glennon. There is a good chance you might have all 3 quarterbacks active for this game. Minshew and Luton could... We'll see if Jake Luton is active this week or not. But it's not going to matter. Frank Reich's going to get revenge. The Colts are going to get revenge for that. The only win Jacksonville's had this year. Colts get it done, I think. Colts will win. Colts will cover. And I think the Colts sneak into the playoffs. Colts need a win. But the Colts are going to need a win, and either the Dolphins, Browns, or Ravens to lose, and they are in. And I think that's going to happen for the Colts. And the last game of the week, the New Orleans Saints against the Carolina Panthers. Saints, the 6-point favorites as of right now. The bad part for the Saints is they will have no running backs tomorrow. All their running backs are on the COVID list at this point. So they're going to have to bring up their practice squad running back. You might see a lot of Taysom Hill in this game. The only way... We'll see how good Taysom Hill will be. So you're going to see probably a lot of Taysom Hill running the ball in this game. And, of course, you'll probably see a good game out of Michael Thomas. Probably a good game from Emmanuel Sanders. I don't know, though. This is where probably this could be an opportunity for the Panthers to play spoiler here now, because now with the injury, with them not really having a running back, you don't have to worry about stopping the run if you are the Panthers. Panthers are bad at stopping the run. They're good at stopping the pass. This is where I think an upset could happen. I think we are going to see I'm going to do it. I'm taking the Panthers in an upset over the Saints. And the last game on the docket, the Washington football team against the Philadelphia Eagles. Washington wins. They are your 4th seed. They will be the NFC East champions. Philadelphia resting most of their players. Rumor is that Carson Wentz will be inactive for this game, and Nate Sudfeld will be the backup for Jalen Hurts. The good news for Washington is it's looking like Alex Smith will be back for this game. So that is really good news for Washington. They will have Antonio Gibson to run the ball. I think Washington gets it done. Washington will be your 7-9 NFC East champions. Crown the football team. They're going to win it. Washington wins. Washington covers. Washington will likely have a date with Tampa Bay next week. As for Philly, this is likely the good news for... Looks like Doug Peterson will be back with the Eagles in 2021. But it's looking like that Jim Schwartz will be retiring after this game, or forced out per se. So they will be bringing in a new defensive coordinator to Philadelphia next year. But I should have said this for Jacksonville earlier. Jacksonville is going to fire Doug Marrone after this game. They are rumored to be going after Urban Meyer. So that's your update on Jacksonville. So you might have Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville in 2021. But now with all the playoffs and stuff, all my picks done, here's what my probable playoff matchups for the wildcard weekend will be. You will probably have the number 2 Buffalo Bills going up against the number 7 Indianapolis Colts. That should be a fun matchup. And then you will have the number 3 Pittsburgh Steelers, the trilogy against the Cleveland Browns. And the number 4 Tennessee Titans going up against the Baltimore Ravens. That should be a very fun matchup there. On the NFC side, I have the Seattle Seahawks going up against the Los Angeles Rams. The number 3 New Orleans Saints going up against the Arizona Cardinals. And the number 4 Washington Football Team going up against the number 5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those are what I have projected. Now it's time to enjoy the games. Hope everyone's having a good New Year. Enjoy the week 17 tomorrow. We'll be back on tomorrow night after Sunday Night Football to discuss the playoffs. Good night, everybody.